Exodus 14 today, and so I want to start with a little bit of prep, okay? This is a very, very familiar story. All of you, once we start reading it, you're going to go, yeah, I know what happens, okay? But remember, we're going to tie on our sandals, okay? You're either going to be Israel or Egyptian, okay? So get your nice sandals on. We're going to walk as if we've never heard this story before. Okay, we're not going to look at it.
I probably haven't.
Yeah. Some of us have not, but the majority of us have. Or at least you've kind of heard maybe kind of some of the story before. You've never read it before. So we're going to strap on our sandals. We're going to go for a walk today. Remember, we are being led out of Egypt. There's about 2 million of us, so you and your favorite buddies and your family are heading out of Egypt. But we're not going the direct route. We're not going the scenic route, which would be really easy, but
we're not going down the coastline, correct?
We're not going down the coastline, because who's waiting for us on the coastline? The Philistines and all the Egyptian army outposts. We're not going that way. We're not ready for war yet, okay? And then what's in front of us leading us besides Moses? Pillar. And if it's daytime, it's a cloud. And if it's nighttime, it's a fire. Okay, awesome. All right, so we're moving forward. We're heading out. God is leading us to what looks like a tactical error, a disaster. Maybe God doesn't know what's on the other side of what's heading for us, and that's what we're going to find out today, if God knows his travel and his geography. All right? Exodus 14, verse 1. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to turn back and encamp in front of," you ready for this name? Pi-ha-hi-roth. Okay? Pi-ha-hi-roth. Gesundheit, yes. Between Migdol and the sea, in front of, ready for this one? Baal-zephon. Okay? You shall encamp facing it by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the people of Israel, "They are wandering in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them. And I will get glory over Pharaoh and all his host. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord." And they did so. Okay, so they're heading towards the desert. Remember, we're not going to go the scenic route, okay? And God tells Moses, "Listen, I want you to turn the people around, and I want you to kind of make camp here by the sea." And everybody goes, wait, we just left Egypt. We're supposed to be heading that way. Why are we turning around? Why are we doing a U-turn here? Okay? He goes, "This is what I want you to tell them." Well, this places them with the sea on one side and mountains on the other. Okay? In this little camping area, we're down by the water, got your beach clothes on, your towels spread out. We're going to have a nice camp. Right? Okay. Get your sunscreen out. We're just going to have a little vacation here at the campsite, right by the sea. Some of you are laughing because you know the story. So God says, Pharaoh's going to think y'all are confused and y'all are turned around and you don't have your GPS on, okay? He's going to think y'all are confused in the wilderness because it's kind of shut you in. And Pharaoh's going to get a brilliant idea that he's going to think is his own idea, okay? But I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart, and I'm going to have him come after you, okay? Because I want to get glory over Egypt. I'm not done with Egypt yet, okay? And they're going to know who Yahweh is. Do they know who Yahweh is at this point? Some of them probably do after 10 plagues. Yes. Right? Mm-hmm. Remember, they're burying their sons. They've been through a lot. Their houses and their fields and all their cows are dead. They know who Yahweh is. Okay? But he said they're really going to know who Yahweh is. So God is leading them out there on purpose. Even though it looks like a mistake from everybody on the outside, it's being done on purpose. And sometimes we can find ourselves in situations like that. We're kind of turned around going, where am I? How did I even get here? Why am I here? And we don't realize that it's all for God's glory at the end of it. Because sometimes a dead end and a divine appointment can look the same from the outside. And it's only by God's leading that we figure out the difference. Okay? So let's read what happens in verse 5. When the king of Egypt, that's just another way of saying Pharaoh, when the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, the mind of Pharaoh and his servants was changed toward the people. And they said, "What is this that we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us?" So he made ready his chariot and took his army with him, and took 600 chosen chariots and all the other chariots of Egypt, with officers over all of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and he pursued the people of Israel while the people of Israel were going out defiantly. the Egyptians pursued them, all Pharaoh's horses and chariots and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamped by the sea at Pi-hahiroth in front of Baal-zephon. Okay? So, back in Egypt, Pharaoh and his officials have a change of heart. Okay? The text says that they turned to one another, and they had a little council meeting here. And they said, what have we done? We've let all of our servants go. Who's going to serve us now? What are we going to do?
They
Right?
actually have to work.
Now we're going to have to work for rebuilding all of Egypt. We've just let them all walk out of here. So the economic reality of what is happening has come about the next morning. Okay, they're like, what have we done here? We got to go back and get them. So Pharaoh assembles his army. He has 600 chosen chariots, and that's just like the best of the best. And then he's like, and everybody else too. Everybody can come here. We're going to collect all the chariots, everybody who can ride. Let's go. All the horsemen, all the troop. The finest military force that the world knows at this time. And we're going after our servants. We're going to go bring them back. Okay? So this is the scene. Verse 10. When Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they feared greatly. You would too. And the people of Israel cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt? Is it not that we said to you in Egypt, leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. And Moses said to the people, fear not, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians who you see today, shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You have only to be silent. Okay? So Israel's just having their beach day, and all of a sudden they look up, and there's an army heading at them. And not just any army, the Egyptian army is heading toward them. Okay? And of course, they are terrified. Now it's a reasonable response to this situation. Okay? They are a nation of former slaves. They have a sea on one side of them, they have mountains on the other, and they have this army coming at them. It's very reasonable for them to be having these emotions here. So they respond with fear. And they turn to poor Moses, their leader, and they ask, were there not enough graves in Egypt? You got to bring us out here to die and be buried out here in the wilderness? We even told you to leave us alone when you first came to us. We said, leave us here. We're happy what we're doing, right? It was worse for you to bring us out here to go through all of this just for us to die out here. It would have been better if we had just stayed slaves. But what was their cry to God when they were slaves?
Why are we slaves?
Why are we slaves? Please deliver us. Please redeem us from this situation. And now they're saying it's better for us to just have been slaves than to die out here. And this is the hard part to read here in Israel because we do it ourselves. It's so recognizable when we see a situation that just looks impossible from our perspective. We go, why? Why did you bring me all the way here to deal with all of this? There's no way out of this. Okay? We're not going to go over the mountains. We can't go through the sea, and we're not going to face this army. Okay? We're not warriors. Okay? So Moses responds in a very leadership move. He tells them, fear not, stand firm, and you will see the salvation of Yahweh. He is going to work for you today. Why? Because he worked for you yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. He didn't bring you out here just to have you guys slaughtered out here. He's going to work for you today. Yahweh will fight for you. You just have to be quiet. Literally, he's like, just shut up. Stop with all of this. Just shh. It's not better that you would have stayed in Egypt. Okay? Just shh, be quiet.
I think he tells me that a lot.
Yeah. You just hear, shh, Moses, shut up. Just stand right there and let God deliver you, okay? Because you're not going to be able to do this, okay? So he says, fear not, stand still, and be quiet. I don't know if you've ever been really terrified, but if your best friend came to you and said, listen, all you have to do is stand still, don't be afraid, and be quiet. You would probably say, you're no longer my friend anymore. You don't give great advice. I am terrified. The three most difficult things to do when are absolutely terrified. Don't be afraid. That's like saying, don't be angry, right? Don't be afraid. Just stand there and be quiet. God's going to fight for you, okay? So Israel looked at their situation. They absolutely panic, okay? They immediately start arguing. It was way better for us. And they just watched 10 plagues. They walked out of the most powerful nation. Remember, they are dripping with gold and silver and really nice clothes, okay? And they're ready to go back. They're ready to give it all up and go back to all of that. So fear has a way of making the past look a little bit better than it really is. All right, so let's find out what happens next in verse 15. The Lord has something to say here. The Lord said to Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Tell the people of Israel to go forward. Lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it. And the people of Israel may go through the sea on dry ground. And I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians so that they shall go in after them. And I will get glory over Pharaoh and all his host, his chariots, and his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten glory over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen." Then the angel of the Lord, who was going before the host of Israel, moved and went behind them. And the pillar of cloud moved from before them and stood behind them, coming between the host of Egypt and the host of Israel. And there was the cloud and the darkness, and it lit up the night with without one coming near the other all night long. Okay? So God is going to respond here. He's got something to say. Remember, Moses, the people are arguing with each other. Moses tells them to shut up and just stand still and don't be afraid. God's going to have something to say about this whole situation. So he tells Moses this. He said, "Why are you praying to me? Why are you crying out to me? I already told you what to do. Go do it. You're moving forward, and your path is the sea. See that that sea that you're looking? Yeah, you're going to walk on dry ground. Right? How many of you are ready to get your feet wet? Get your sandals tied on tight. We're going to get our feet wet, right?" And he goes, no, you're going to walk on dry ground. Remember that staff I gave you? Yeah, stretch it out. Over the sea, it's going to split right down the middle. You're going to walk across it. How many of you are packing up your tent and going? Going? Or otherwise you're going to face the Egyptians, right? Okay. So God is not dismissing prayer here. He's just warning them. Listen, this is not the moment to stand still. This is the moment to move forward. Because what was Moses' advice? Stand still. Be quiet, stand still. Let God deal with the Egyptians. And God says, oh no, you're going to walk out of here. I'm going to get you out of this situation. I want you to move forward, okay? So the time had come. God was leading them. This is not the time to sit around and pray, okay? This is the time to move forward, right? So God promised that the Egyptians would follow them into the sea, and then God would get glory over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen. And then something incredible happens that we often skipped over because it's only one tiny little verse here. We are told the angel of Yahweh, who is Jesus, pre-incarnate Jesus, has been leading them in front of the pillar. We were not told that before. That's very interesting. But now he moves from in front of them to behind them. He puts himself between Israel and Egypt. And then the pillar also moves and stands with him, behind them, between Egypt and them. And then we're told there's this darkness. So does anyone see the Trinity here? Mm-hmm. We have the voice talking to Moses. Who's that? God the Father. We have the angel of God, who is Jesus. And we have the pillar of cloud, who is Spirit. We have the Trinity right here, on guard for his people. Okay? So, the same angel of Yahweh who appeared to Hagar twice in the wilderness when she was dying, who stopped Abraham's hand from slaying Isaac in the mountain, who sent Jacob home from Laban, who wrestled Jacob into a new identity, who spoke to Moses in the burning bush, the one who passed over every door looking for the sacrificial blood, is the same one who had been leading them in front of the pillar, and now turned and put himself between their enemies, the people who were coming after them. So the embodiment of God in Trinity form is standing there between his people and their enemies. And the cloud moves, and God causes this darkness over Egypt so that they can't even see past the pillar to look and see where Israelites are. And we're told that this happens all night long. They cannot see the people of Israel. God basically blinds them from being able to see, so they can't figure out an attack strategy. How we're going to get around this thing to come at them. We can't see them.
Because they were walking in front of the fire,
Mhm.
and the Egyptians were walking behind the fire,
Behind them.
you know.
But
so
it's a cloud because we're in the daytime.
right,
Right. But it moves and
Right.
comes up behind them.
okay.
And then it says he puts a darkness over Egypt. So like we have this pillar cloud, we have this angel of Yahweh, and then God puts darkness over them. So they can't see Israel. They can't figure out, they're warriors. So they're going to figure
Right.
out an attack strategy. Where can we come down on them? How
Right.
can we get around them and surround them? They can't see anything.
Also, that would have been very concerning. I probably would have turned
Yes.
around and gone home.
Yeah. I don't know if this is worth it. Are they really
If
worth
it
it?
got dark in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
so dark that you couldn't see.
We
the
can't
number of
see
people in front of
anything.
you.
What is going on here? This Yahweh is a very interesting God. Okay? So God holds them apart for the night. Okay? The two camps are being held apart by God Himself. Okay? Egypt cannot advance on Israel. Let's find out what happens. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the people of Israel went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, and the waters being a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them in the midst of the sea, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And in the morning watched the Lord in the pillar of fire and of cloud, looked down on the Egyptian forces, and threw the Egyptian forces into a panic, clogging their chariot wheels so that they drove heavily. And the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from before Israel. The Lord fights for them against the Egyptians." Okay, so Moses stretches out his hand. Okay, he's just holding a stick. Remember, there's nothing magical about the stick. It's just a stick. He's holding it out, and God is the one who tells the sea to do this. Okay, but with a wind, how many of you imagine it happening immediately?
I do.
Most of us. But it says that the wind blew all night long.
To keep it parted, right?
It separated, so it took all night long for the waters to divide up into these walls and for the land to become dry.
Right.
So we have this strong wind blowing. Imagine like a hurricane coming through there and just cutting a path through the water and then keeping it up. I don't know if y'all know anything about gravity or about water, but normally, typically, water finds its level. Okay, if you pour something out, it's gonna just go like this. I've never poured something out and it becomes wall of water, okay, without something in the way.
Could you imagine walking through that?
Yeah, and God just goes, okay, I'm gonna hold it back for you. I'm gonna pull the curtain
Do
back.
they feel that wind at that intensity?
Yes. Imagine being in a hurricane. This
So
is
they're
the east
feeling-
wind is a huge wind over there in the Middle East.
And the
It would be like
noise.
what we would call a
Yeah, the
nor'easter.
noise
The
too.
noise.
The
and
noise
that.
would sound like a train around
Yes.
them. Okay? Have you ever been in the middle of a hurricane?
Yes.
That's what they're basically experiencing. It's called a nor'easter.
I was just wondering if they would be more like in that eye. So like you're hearing it all around you, but in that
Yeah, but
eye,
there's no
that
eye
vivid, you know what I
In
mean?
theirs. Yeah. We have the hurricane that circles and has a crescent eye. Over there in an eastern wind, there is no eye. It's just pounding you and pounding you and pounding you all night long. So we're talking sand's going, water's going everywhere. You're hearing this loud sound. You can't even talk, it's so loud. All night long. And you're probably thinking, what in the world is going on here? Right? Okay, you're just experiencing that right now.
The
okay?
Egyptians here.
And the Egyptians hear it too. Yeah. They can't see anything, they can't see what's going on, but they certainly hear that. That's a loud, loud wind. Okay?
Give us goosebumps. It's giving me goosebumps.
Yes! I love it. I love it. Alright. So Moses stretched out his hand. God's dividing the waters all night long. Okay? And 2 million people are going to walk through the sea on dry ground. Not an instant miracle. It had to take all night long. But once Israel had finished crossing over, after the last person, the last hoof, the last cart gets over on the other side, God is going to step in here. Okay? He's going to go like this. instant. Okay? Because what happens is all the Egyptians follow them down there in their chariots. And these chariots were a big deal. Okay? These were military chariots. They could go through pretty much anything. And they get down there, and God goes, confusion. Just makes them all confused. They get all turned around. They don't know which way is up, which way is down. They got this water going, sharks are swimming by. They don't know what's going on, right? It's like, what in the world is happening? And their wheels get stuck. In dry ground, their wheels get stuck. Right? And so God's like holding them there, right in the center. And then he lets the water go. Right over all of them. Right over all of them. All gone. Now, all but one. Because did you notice that it says it's all of Pharaoh's men? All of Pharaoh's warriors? Where's Pharaoh?
Probably on the other side.
He's on the other side.
He's on the other side watching.
He does not go down there and watch everything.
He's afraid.
He's afraid. He's not going in that water.
Mhm.
He's sending his armies down there. So he's on the other side seeing, and he sees when that whole walls of water just crash over his entire army, and his army is drowned right there. The most powerful army in the known world at that time, they're all now at the bottom of the sea. And he's standing on the other side. And now he can see Israel only on the other side. And now he has a choice to make. Okay? Is he going to believe Yahweh now? At this moment is his first question that he ever asked Moses answered. Who's Yahweh? I don't know him. Does he know him now? Yeah, he knows who Yahweh is now. Okay?
And the news spreads.
Oh yeah, he had to go back and tell his people when he didn't show up with all the army. Where'd the army go? Why didn't you bring back our servants? What happened? Why did you return without your army? Right? Okay? So, the Lord fought for Israel. Okay? And it also says that the Israelites saw the dead warriors. They wash up on sea, on the shore, on the other side. Could you imagine seeing that army coming at you and just deathly afraid, and then when you're on the other side, their bodies just start washing up? Horses, chariot pieces, bodies of your warriors washing up on the sea at your feet. And you didn't do anything. You just moved forward with God.
Jennifer, one thing interesting, today they have actually found pieces of chariots in that bottom of
In the
that
middle
sea.
of the sea.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible, just as God said. How about that?
Was it called, what was the sea called at that time?
There's some debate about that. The most accurate word that we have is red, because there was a reed sea. But the place where we found the chariot wheels, the place where we think is actually called the Red Sea. Okay? And it is kind of difficult. I'm going to try my best to do all this for you, and it's not any good, y'all, okay? These are not stick people, these are stick geography. Alright, so we have Egypt, right? Alright, let's do it like this. Alright, so we have Egypt, okay, we have the Nile, okay, that runs down like this, okay? So Goshen, remember the land where the Israelites dwell, is right here, okay? Like this little pasture land, okay? And then we have a couple of different like smaller waters and some tiny little areas of water, okay? And then this is the land of the rest of it. This is the Sinai Peninsula, and then back towards Arabic and all this. So this is where Israel's supposed to go, okay? This would have been the coastal region, because this is a sea up here, okay? Mediterranean Sea and all that. This would have been the nice, easy, beautiful coastal route that we should have gone. But who's here? And here, and here, and here, and here, and all along the coast. All of our enemies. Alright, so God says, we're not going that way. We're gonna go this way. And this is wilderness. This is legitimately just desert and mountains, and we don't want to go down here. But that's where we're going, okay? So he turns them around and around here, and then there is some debate about exactly where along here all of these cities are. We haven't found the two cities that are mentioned, but this whole water right here is called the Red Sea. There's a tiny lake here that's called the Reed Sea, just because it's bigger than all of these other ones, okay? But this is where we found the chariot wheels. So we think that they passed through somewhere through here, okay? We don't have exactly sure, we can't be, debating about that. There's also people who think they kind of went this way and then down and then across. I don't know, because if the Egyptian found out the next morning that they wanted to go after them, they wouldn't really have all that time. So this is our best guess of what we can guess at, okay? But this is called the Red Sea, okay? Make more sense now? Kind of visualize it? Okay. This is also the wilderness. Well, they will spend the next 40 years.
I was gonna say, they still gotta get up.
They don't know that yet, spoiler alert.
Yeah, they still gotta get up all the way.
Yeah,
up
they
there.
think they're just gonna kind of like go like this and then go like this. They just think that they're on a long, extended, tour.
Yeah.
Like a 3-hour tour.
43-hour
year
tour.
That's what they think the plan is, and really it's gonna go like this and then this way. We're eventually gonna get there, but yes, okay. All right. So, okay, verse 26. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, and the waters may come back upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen." So Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its normal course when the morning appeared. And as the Egyptians fled into it, the Lord threw the Egyptians into the midst of the sea. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that had followed them into the sea. Not one of them remained. But the people of Israel walked on dry ground through the sea, and the waters being a wall to them on their right hand and their left. Okay? Alright, so, let me finish. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians, so the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and his servant Moses. Let me tell you, that doesn't last long. You haven't read the rest of Exodus.
Yeah.
Alright, so God told Moses when they get back on the other side to stretch out his hand again. Remember, stick is not magical. This is God doing it. The waters come back. All of it finds its level again. Over the chariots, over the horsemen, over the entire army that had followed them in. No one survives if they went down into the sea. Their bodies wash up on shore, and Israel is standing there looking at their defeated enemies. Okay? They saw the great power of Yahweh. He got glory over the Egyptians. Okay? And they feared, but it's a healthy fear. This is awe, respect, belief, reverence. Look at what he just did to the most powerful man in the entire world. Okay? Our Yahweh is not somebody to trifle with. We're going to believe what he says. They had seen 10 plagues. They walked through the dry ground, and now they had seen their enemies drowned in all of it. And we wish that we could just end it right here. Right? We wish they could just say, believed and lived happily ever after, and faithfully ever after. But this is only the beginning, and they don't know that yet. Okay? So if you got your sandals strapped on, you don't know that you're getting ready to go on a 40-year side quest. Okay? They think they're heading straight to the promised land and they're not going to have any other problems. It's going to be great. It's not the scenic route, but we're going to get there. Right? Not the end of the story. And this teaches us that belief in these dramatic displays is not always what's going to carry us through the wilderness. Because they still have to go through the wilderness to get on the other side. And once all the drama kind of settles down and kind of fades away, the desert is going to get very long and very hot and very trying. Okay? And Israel's going to learn the hard way to trust in Yahweh. And if we're honest, that's where most of us learn how to trust Yahweh too. It's not in these dramatic displays, it's in the wilderness where we continually walk. We continually have to wait on him to provide for us. Okay? So it was Moses' advice for them to stand firm, to not be afraid, and to be quiet and let the Lord do his work. But it was Yahweh who said, listen, y'all, get up and go. I'm going to put a path in front of you. You're going to go. You're going to follow me. Okay? So sometimes it's hard to distinguish the difference. That doesn't always mean that our spiritual leaders are right or wrong. They're human. Okay? We have to follow what God tells us. Sometimes we can pray about something and pray about something and pray about something, and God's like, listen, I've already given you that answer. Stop asking me, the answer's not going to change. Okay? I'm providing you a path I want you to go. Now, it may not be a path through the sea on dry ground, or it might not be a pillar, but sometimes you know when God is telling you to do something. Okay? So if that is you this week, this is your challenge. I want you to figure out if that is where you are. If you are standing there staring at the sea going, okay, I'm just going to stand here and let you take care of everything. Or is he telling you, I want you to move forward. I want you to take your little beautiful sandal feet and put it forward and move with me because I'm moving forward. Okay? So yes, sometimes we need to stand firm and be quiet. Sometimes we just need to move forward. So, where are you this week? You need to stand firm and be quiet and pray? Or has God already told you you need to move forward? That is between you and the Lord this week.